So hey everyone, it's Emma back from the Marketing Success Summit, and today I'm absolutely delighted to introduce you all to Melanie. So Melanie, welcome to the summit and thank you so much for taking part.
Thanks for having me, Emma. Really pleased to be here.
Yeah, it's great. And Melanie's going to be talking to us today about Canva, which is one of the areas in terms of graphic design that people often struggle with. So just in terms of your own background, Melanie, you're from Stomp Social Media Training. So do you want to tell people a little bit about yourself and just kind of how you started and I guess why Canva and social media graphics would be quite important?
Absolutely. I started a few years back and I did a Start Your Own Business course back in 2013, and with the encouragement of the local enterprise office, small local business owners, and then as time going on, making connections such as yourself and other speakers that have been mentioned on here this week, I've actually managed to grow my business quite quickly, I suppose. And, you know, I initially set up with the intention of trying to arrange a whole range of things to do for people, including press and media, but it didn't really take off. So I know I mentioned this to you a couple of weeks ago, but I had to rebrand after listening to my audience. And so now I'm Stomp Social Media Training, but I was Stomp Marketing and PR. So you can have all these great intentions in the world of running a business, but sometimes you do have to listen to your audience and you have to change with things. And so yeah, 2016 has been a big year for me because I've grown quite exponentially, and I've had the rebrand as well.
Great, fantastic. And you work with small to medium business owners, but you also work right the way up to state bodies, isn't that right?
Yes, last year was quite a coup for me, thank you. It was, I got Bordish Gawar as an ongoing client, and I'm delighted to say I travel fairly extensively for them throughout Ireland, training independent fisheries, and they're a good client.
Great. That's fantastic and well done. So it just goes to show, you know, that sometimes we have to pivot or, you know, kind of change direction slightly, as you say, to listen to your audience. And that has had a wonderful impact on your business this year. So it sounds like, you know, it was the right decision to make. And I applaud you because sometimes it's hard to make that decision to kind of make changes and we can get stuck. So congratulations and well done.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome. Do you want to kind of start the training with Canva and maybe just tell people just about Canva and kind of, I suppose, most people probably know what it is and probably have dabbled to some extent, but are not quite sure exactly how to leverage it in the best way possible.
Sure. Well, today I wanted to discuss why we should use Canva for business, primarily because it's really easily accessible, very, very affordable for every type of business, from complete sole trader, startup even, and it's available online and also on your mobile. Has been available on your mobile for a couple of months now. It's fiddly on your mobile, but it is accessible, definitely. I prefer to use it personally on my laptop or your desktop, but in the way it can be used, it's so easy to set up. It doesn't cost you anything to actually set up an account with them. So you can go to www.canva.com and set up your account. And once you've set it up, you're taken straight to the main design screen, and then you've got templates in front of you, but I'll show you that in a minute. The other fantastic thing about Canva is it's got a free design school. And this has been a huge source of inspiration and help to me when I first started working on Canva. And, it's quite clear the areas that it designates for training. So it just doesn't just go through the templates, it goes through all the add-ons and where you can save things. And then another area is Canva for Work, which brands would use more often, I suppose. But if you've got a recognised font or a recognised brand colour, you can actually save it in this.
Okay.
So it's really, really handy. It's extremely affordable. Again, it doesn't break the budget at all. But then it's just a huge range of images ultimately, and most of them are free.
Mhm.
which is fantastic. And if you do have to pay, it's only a dollar.
Not even a
Still got
euro.
the Irish
Yeah, it's exceptionally cheap.
dollar. I mean, I've used it for, I suppose, 2 years now, and when you don't have the budget for a graphic designer, but you do have the time to learn and practice a new tool, this is so easy. It's very basic to a certain extent, I suppose. But the great thing about most of these platforms and programs these days is you can't break them. It will say, "Are you sure?" And you just say, "No." It gives you the choice of backing out.
Great.
But yeah, it is one of my favourites, and certainly one of the easiest to show complete beginners to image and basic graphic design. I mean, it wouldn't be proper graphic design. I wouldn't want to knock people like Trevor Lawkins, who you had earlier on this week, proper graphic designer. But here's some of his work here. So no, he's amazing. I use him myself for graphic design. But no, going back to Canva. Sorry, Trevor. I just wanted to show you a few aspects. I'm just going to share my screen, if you don't mind, Emma.
Yeah, of course, work away.
Oh, look at that, straight into Zoom. Right. So once you've signed up and you've registered either your personal name or your business name, as you can see up here, I've put in my business name. Makes a lot more sense. I've come into the main platform area here, which is Creator Design. Now, obviously, I've had this account a while, so I've got previous images, but yours will be blank. And just here, you can see at the very, very top are a row of standard templates, and the plus sign takes you down to considerably more. This is one thing that really, really impressed me about this, Emma.
Mm-hmm.
Just the availability of the standardized templates. And even right down to, if I can just get down to the bottom here, where it says the event headers.
Mm-hmm.
I've found these really, really handy, because obviously doing social media, I tend to do a fair few Facebook ads and Facebook events. So yeah, it's become increasingly useful to me over time. And you can use this for business cards. You can use this for so like trifold leaflets. Do you know what I mean? The threefold leaflets, and the shapes and everything's done for you. You just have to add your own personal graphics and images. Sorry, I gesticulate a lot, don't I?
You what?
I gesticulate a lot. My hands are all
That's
over
okay.
the place. So obviously you've got all these templates here. See, my hands are going again. But you can also use custom design, custom dimensions. So every now and then you want to work outside of the standard templates, or there's something you actually want to print out physically, that's A4 or A5, or you can send off to be printed at high resolution. And this is perfect for it. You can add either pixels, or do it in millimeters or inches, so it's quite wide ranging. And just before I go into any designs, I just want to show you around here a little. I was talking about Canva for Work, but this is one of the areas where you can create a team. So you can have people from different locations access this account, and it could be the marketing department, the marketing manager, the creative team. They can all come in here and either edit or just view. You don't have to give them all complete control of actually editing these things. And in here you can actually put in your brand. Let me just see if this works. Was it just going very slow? Yes. So my brand colours would be light blue and dark blue, but I've just put in the light blue here. And in here I could add my brand fonts and my logo. But as I'm a sole trader, I found it actually more useful to me to not bother having the Canva for Work. I don't really need it. But if you were a larger business, you know, with 3 or 4 members of staff, and a greater presence, I think it would be a requirement, really. But whilst I'm here, I also wanted to show you the design school. I was mentioning it earlier on. Just look at this. If you go into designschool.canva.com, you have every single platform, every single design imaginable that you can actually look through. So thumbnails, flyers, it's just incredible. And this is all completely free. It goes pages and pages and pages. And look at all the different areas that they've got standard. Banners, book cover design. Yeah, so we could even get published authors on here. So yeah, this just the full detail. They haven't backed down on providing you full information. All of this is completely freely available and online. And going to Canva for Work, this area here is where you can actually load up your images and your fonts and your particular logo and branding. And I have done it once. I was looking after a large client earlier on this year. You don't have to stay on for, you know, a year or sign up to anything long. I was on it for 7 months, 6 or 7 months, which suited me fine. They've now, it was to launch a new product. The project's been launched, everything's fine, and now their own staff have taken it over. So, you know, it's not something you even need to stick to. You can actually leave every month. And I paid the pay monthly price of $12.95. And these are all the areas that were covered. So you can save your brand colours, you can magically resize your designs. I normally have to go either into Pixlr to resize it, or you can actually resize to a certain extent within Canva as well. You can save your own brand templates, organise your images into folders, mix and match your designs, and so on and so forth. So it really is a valuable tool and just accessible. So right, let's get back into here. Apologies for the delay here.
It's okay.
Now, you probably see a fair few memes and a fair few motivational images, but they don't have to be just like that. You can make them very bog standard, like this image here, just straight lines, you know, basic fonts, or you can get creative and use large images with beautiful backgrounds, creative fonts. But something you might notice with all these images here, bar that one there, my 8-year-old made that one for Halloween, is they're all branded. And that is where I would really encourage people to use Canva. Anytime you take a photo, either of your stock, or you run an event, if you're just out for the day taking creative images that you want to put up onto your Facebook or onto your website, this is the best place for it. Any image that you own, that you've created, you can upload onto Canva, and then you can add your own logo and branding. It makes it easier to keep it yours, and secondly, anytime it's shared or looked at by anybody, it puts you in mind. I mean, you do branding a fair bit, Emma. Is this something you come across a lot?
Sorry, say that again.
You do branding a fair bit, so you would encourage people to brand their image or add their logo to image.
Yeah, no, definitely, because obviously people can, you know, you don't know where it's going to be shared, so it's important, you know, because it could end up anywhere, and it's good that they know who did it in the first place, so therefore they can find you, which is important.
And it doesn't have to be, you know, plastered all over the place, does it? It can just be quite surreptitiously put in the corner. So I've heard it much before, but a lady called Melanie Perkins set up Canva in 2007, so this is 9 years old now.
Wow.
And it's really metamorphosized. Man, I've only used it for the last couple of years myself personally, But in the space of the last 2 years, it's actually really changed its purpose as well. And it's got a lot more templates. But I suppose there's a lot more platforms out there now as well.
Can you hear me?
We should have suspense music here, shouldn't we?
Yes, indeed.
Oh, sorry, did I disappear there?
Well, I think I did, actually.
So here's your standard Facebook post. That is the right size, so that when it gets uploaded onto your Facebook page, it doesn't look too big or too small. It will automatically go to layouts, which you can see here on the left, and it will give you free images. It always gives you the free images first, and these are just suggestions. You don't have to do any of these, but it inspires you. This is another real big plus, I have to say, about Canva. You know, not left there hanging, wondering what to do. And during the course of the year, especially as you get through to special events, like we've obviously got Thanksgiving over in America at the moment, Christmas coming up, you'll find there'll be sort of Thanksgiving related images and Christmas related images. Valentine's and Easter was mad. There were just hundreds of templates of Valentine's and Easter stuff. So you're never short of inspiration in Canva. So we're not up to anything, any specific thing in geographically in Ireland at the moment, so it won't show any Christmas stuff at the moment. And what I want to design here is I'm running a course next week for Facebook training with a friend of mine. So I want to create an image that will be used for my Facebook post for that. So if I want to, I can go into the search section, which is at the very top here, and type in social media, or sickle media for some reason, social media, hit enter. And again, it'll come up with all the free images. So you can use any of these. And now here is, can you see the little dollar signs here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you can add any of these now, and each time you finish with your picture, if you've got 6 images that cost $1 each, it will cost you $6. Mm-hmm. And it will take the money straight away, because once you've signed up, you also include your bank details or your card details. So if you haven't got your own images, this is perfect, because it gives you plenty of options, free and paid for. But in the best of Blue Peter style, I have some already loaded up. So this is one of the graphics we've been using for Facebook posts. So I can move this image around. I can reshape it, resize it. There you go. It's very slow for some reason. And as you can see, there's a line here, so it even helps you center it. You know, it really helps you in so many ways, Canva. And there you go. I can also add, I'm sure you've seen this before on graphics online, where you can see people's faces, and it's just like in a circle rather than in a square. Mm-hmm. So that you would find in Elements. And here you've got free photos, grids, frames, which is obviously for the photos, shapes, lines, illustrations, icons, charts, and then I Love Canva is just free images again. So I want a frame. Now the one I prefer to use, I tend to go circular. Some people go square, but I find it looks neater. Did you have any preferences, Emma?
It depends, I suppose, what I'm doing. I sometimes do circles. So I think sometimes it's just a personal preference, really, you know.
Yeah, Marie tends to. This was her graphic. Marie tends to do squares. It's funny, isn't it? Actually, I've never really given it much thought before, but it is a personal thing. So that is the frame there, and I'm just going to get rid of that for now, just because I just want to show you a couple of things. As you can see, it's come out with this plain sky grass thing. And then it's got a blue outline. And just up here on the left here, if you can see in the corner up here, I can click onto that and I can change that color to whatever color I want, or I can make it white if I want to keep the background white. And I can go over here without an edge altogether. I tend to go black. Again, just a personal preference. And I'm going to put an upload in here of me. And just slide that across. And look at that. Bob's your uncle.
Mm-hmm. It's great.
It really is. It's as simple as that, but it's only because I know where to find it.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew to scroll further down to find the right frame for me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just what I found with particularly with Canva, and not so much with Canva for work, because you kind of graduate to Canva for work, is you just play with Canva. Mm-hmm. I have wasted hours playing on this, and what you do, it's a shock, and you can't really break it, and you can always undo as well. There's this button up next to the Canva line here where you can undo or redo, so you can at any time undo or delete completely. I'm also going to add a background to my image, and these are all the free ones here. And then obviously the paid ones come up shortly afterwards. They can be relatively wild and wacky, but again, you can use your own image. You can upload your own background image, and you can have that in the background. It can be your office. You've got quite a nice office, Emma, I have to say.
Oh, thank you.
You do. So it could be your office, it could be your shop front, it could be your car or your van that you deliver your stock in. Mm-hmm. And that it all helps with the brand, and it makes you more recognizable. I mean, I always say to people who've got a bricks and mortar base that really on your Facebook page and on your website, it would be handy to have an image of the front of your shop, or your factory, because that's where people see you first. That's, they can, oh yeah, I recognize that from the website, or I recognize that from the Facebook page when they come to see you. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, I don't have a nice office, and I don't have people come to see me, thank heavens. So, I don't bother with that, but I do have to put my branding on, and I do have to put my face on. So what else can we add? Here's my logo. Now, because I've got a white white background logo, I'm going to keep this white. Let's move this over here, and I can resize that as well. And can you see this little line here? Mm-hmm. It's telling me it's in line with the logo. So you can, for all the OCD perfectionists out there, this really nurtures your OCD horrifically. So this really does help. So what else can we put up there? I think we might put in another element. So we get rid of frames and put some lines. I feel like going mad and putting in some lines. Look at all these 3 different lines here.
Yeah, there's some great choice, isn't there?
It really is. By the way, I'm not paid by Canva for this. It's just a preference, okay? When I have tried other platforms, and I still do, there's just some things that that work better together. But I just like this one. So I can make this longer. There you go. Nice and tidy. I sound like a Mr. Men book there. Neat and tidy. Tidy and neat. Can you tell I have kids? So actually I've changed my mind about doing my training event. I think I might do this instead. This is the great thing about being live as well, as I can change. So here is the font. So now I can type in whatever I want. I can say Melanie Boylan talks Canva. And I can change the size of that font. Actually, I'll change the font first because that will obviously have an impact on the size. Let's go for Droid Serif. Looks different. Yeah, it's okay. So I can resize this here. Can you see the little arrow on the side?
Mm-hmm.
And if I want to, I can change the color of this. Let's be daring and go blue as well. And I can bold this as well. So, you know, straight away I've got my branding, what I'm talking about, what I look like, and if I want to, I can add my website on there. I can add your website because I'm talking about it on the Marketing Success Summit. I can add times. I can spin this around. I mean, the versatility and the flexibility on this are amazing. And again, Canva can't do more for you. They give you pre-designed suggestions here and inspiration on the left-hand side of different ways you can word things, and you can like badge things as well. So, you know, there's no shortage of inspiration, and all of this is free. I mean, as you can see on the left here, every single one here is free, and you probably have to scroll down quite a bit before you find anything to actually pay for.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what appeals to me. It really gets your creative juices going, and it really helps you identify a more creative brand for yourself. I mean, my particular branding tends to be quite straight-laced, you know, stomp, you know, no muss, no fuss, this is what you get. But, you know, each to their own. I didn't want to be flowery and prissy and bouncy, and I just want, you know, this is what you get. So, you know, it depends on your personality. It depends on the type of business you have. It depends on how you want to reach your audience, and also how old your audience is as well. You know, if my audience tended to be younger, I'd probably use more creative images, more different colors. But my audience particularly seems to be around my age or perhaps older, who aren't really into flouncy stuff and just want some answers. But again, it's all down to personal taste and branding. I quite like your branding for the Marketing Success Summit, I have to say, because
thank you.
It kind of mirrors mine. It's no muss, no fuss, you know. Yeah. This is what you get, this is what it's about, and, you know, this is what I do.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to leave this here for now, and I'm just going to show you how to download it. So I'm not going to change the background. Looked at layouts, looked briefly at search, and looked briefly at uploads. One thing I should mention about uploads actually is you upload images directly from either your phone, obviously if you're using your iPhone, or directly from your laptop or desktop, and it will go straight to your documents as standard, just like any other document would. Mm-hmm. So it really is quite simple and quite quick. And then once you've got your images up here, actually I will put one image that I need to pay for just so you can see what it looks like, because it does look slightly different. What can I pay for? Creative. I made sure I paid for some extra images before I started today. I didn't want you seeing my card details. He talks Canva. What can I use to go with Canva? Oh, there you go. Showing intellect. Ugh, it's huge. Okay, let's make that smaller. Make it slightly smaller again. Now, I wouldn't be using this normally. I'm just using this just so that it's like an exercise for you to see how it's created. So I'm going to download. It always recommends PNG. Absolutely no harm in doing that, but it does give you alternatives like JPEG, PDF, and suggested PDF for print and standard. So let's just stick with PNG for now and download. And as you can see, it's allowing me to purchase that image that I'd like to download. I paid for credits, and if you buy $20 worth of credit, you get 22 images, and $10 you get 11 images. So it's quite handy. It's a little saving exercise. So you can purchase and download. So I've got my credit, so that's coming off straight away. And as you can see, it gives me 23 hours and 59 minutes on my one-time purchase to make any changes. So I can move that image around. I can make it bigger or smaller. I can move it onto a different image altogether. I've purchased it, and I can adapt it and change it. And it's now saved down here, and I can put it into my Word documents. I have a whole separate section called Canva, which is where I'll put it later. So the great thing is if you're doing several different elements for Christmas, maybe, you can actually buy the one image, put it onto 5 or 6 different pictures. You can put it on a banner, you can do it on a trifold, you can do it on a Facebook post, and it doesn't have to be the same size. You can change it each time, and you've got a whole day to do it. But once that time is up, you can't change it. You won't be able to, I'm afraid. So once that's done, I can come out of that screen. Oh, and it won't show up straight away, but it's there. But you can see the images I've bought and purchased. You can have a look back now and see this image here that I did for Remembrance Day on the 11th. It's got all these crosses all over it, and you can just see a watermark of Canva. When I paid for that image, the watermark disappeared, and I was able to change it however I wanted. But my 24-hour period is up, so I'm not able to go back into that anymore and change it. But all these other images are either free or mine, so I can go into any of these and change them now. So the flexibility is brilliant. This is my daughter's business here, Kira's Party Bags. So I'm preparing her images for Christmas and New Year. So that was a free image. I could change the font. I obviously branded the picture, and these store indefinitely, or you can just put them into trash. And if you want to, you can actually take them out of trash if you've put in the wrong one. You can take copies of these. So you click on the arrow here, and it will say make a copy or move to trash. So it pretty much explains it to you. Every time you use it, it will explain how to use it and what different things you can do with it. So yeah, I could do another one, but it's pretty much a repeat.
Yeah. I think people just need to go and practice, really, and I think there's some great facilities there, and thank you, Melanie, for showing us. And the images are incredibly cheap. I mean, a lot of those other websites, you're paying $35 or whatever it would be for an image, so like $1 is very cheap.
It really is.
And I can see you've done loads of stuff already. So when you're running workshops, and obviously Christmas is coming up and Easter and different times of the year where people want to brand, kind of like seasonal branding as well as their own brand, and they can incorporate both, which is fantastic.
So just to quickly cover on the takeaways, if you don't mind.
Yeah, of course.
Brilliant. It is free and easy and really quick to sign up to Canva. It's only $1 keep on saying euro. $1 per image. For each image. It has a really large stock of graphics and images. There's kind of basic sort of cartoony ones that come at the top, but if you scroll down, you'll be able to see the more complex and more descriptive images, but obviously they tend to be the ones you pay the dollar for. It has the free design school, which I showed you earlier on, which is designschool.canva. Loads and loads and loads of standardized templates, accessible online and now on your phone, and you can save your brands and your fonts and your logos for Canva for work.
Fantastic. Well, I think that's a great summary. Thank you, Melanie. And Melanie, if anybody wants to get in contact with you for help with social media, for help with Canva, how do they get in contact with you? What's the best way to contact you?
Well, you can reach me on several platforms. The great thing about being a social media person is you tend to be on many. So my website is www.stomp.ie, and I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn, and a few others. I'm on Snapchat as well. Kind of a laugh on Snapchat. I tend to find I'm more honest on Snapchat than I am anywhere else.
We'll have to go and have a look. You're intriguing me.
So yeah, I'd be delighted to help out with anybody who's got any queries on Canva or indeed on any platform.
Great, fantastic, Melanie. Well, Melanie, I think people can see that you really know your stuff. I think if anyone needs help, which I know a lot of you like to DIY this stuff online, but sometimes you actually genuinely need an hour maybe or something with Melanie or somebody and who can help you. None of us are going to be graphic designers, but it's a case of just being able to do the more simple stuff and not having to pay that vast amount of money for just simple things. And so if you do want to contact Melanie, as she said, it's www.stomp.ie, which is obviously the Irish domain, and you will find her there. And as you can see, she runs workshops all the time, and you do one-to-one, I would do as well, or?
Yes, no, I've specialised in one-to-one, and so instead of going through everything you already know, I will fill in the gaps in your knowledge.
Right.
And it saves an awful lot more time because people can't spend the whole day away from the office or the shop.
Yes.
Just because they want to find out one aspect.
Yes.
And I come to you as well to a large extent, or if you're quite a distance away, I have met people up in the middle before.
Okay.
To save time.
Brilliant. Well, that's fantastic. Well, Melanie, I'd like to thank you so very much. That's an absolutely really informative presentation this morning. So thank you so much. I really appreciate your time and for putting all the time and effort into the presentation as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Not at all.